All right, we're recording. So testing.
Hi.
Hello.
Testing.
Mark.
Okay,
Andrew.
well, I want everybody to sort of introduce themselves. I will go first. My name is Matthew Perry. Some of you may know me because I'm an actor, and I'm here with my buddy Mark. So say hi, Mark.
Hello.
And I'm also here with my friend Andrew. And Andrew, say hello to
Hi.
everybody.
My name's Andrew.
Okay, I think so far this is going great. And one of the reasons that we're here today doing a podcast is I was listening to a podcast done by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington, and decided
This
that it
isn't
was
my
so
time.
funny that I would try to just basically rip it off and do my own on this side of the pond. I have had the pleasure of meeting who I think is maybe America's Carl. Not the same kind of interesting. It's just an interesting brain, and that's Andrew. And I wanted to do this with my best buddy Mark, and so we're here and we're going to do this podcast. So that's my little intro. Mark, why don't you tell the 0 listeners so far a little bit about yourself?
I'm Mark Holder. I'm a manager and a producer of writers and directors in Los Angeles.
So you're in
And,
show business.
I'm in the show biz. I'm in the biz.
Okay.
I have known Maddie, who's my best bud, for about 10 years or so. My day has been very long. I have a 2.5-year-old son. I have a 9-week-old baby, so sleep is completely out the window, and I'm a bit delirious, but I still have a little bit more brain cells than our subject, Andrew. And we're going to run through this and see how it goes. Andrew, why don't you say hello?
Yeah, hi, I'm Andrew. I guess there's
Just tell us a
really-
little bit about yourself.
I'm a man, and I'm
Mhm.
I'm about 6 foot tall. I got dark hair and dark eyes. I like to go tanning, and I'm not in the show biz yet. I'd like to become an actor. I like I don't know. I like a lot of different things.
Okay, well, that's great
Yeah.
so far. I think that's definitely sums you up for now. I wanted to ask you some questions and just spend some time with you because I enjoy the way your brain works. So, throughout this podcast, we'll be doing a little bit of that. We'll be asking you questions and we'll be talking to you. And I have put on Twitter questions for you, and maybe some people will, be tweeting questions for you too. But first, Marky, you wanted to talk a little bit about an experience you had driving the other day. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear Andrew's opinion on this as well. I live a life that's a little bit spiritual. I try to be a good guy. And
Let me just interject 1 second. Sit still, Andrew.
Sorry.
yeah,
You know what I
whatever
mean?
you're doing, stop
Just,
doing that.
Just sit
Yeah.
still.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Okay, great.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the other day, it was my wife's birthday, and I took her for a massage, and I dropped her off at this place for a massage, and my 8-week-old baby was in the back seat of the car, and I had to go just basically waste time for an hour while she had this massage. And there was no parking spot, so I drove around the neighborhoods. And my biggest pet peeve in the world is rude drivers. And living in Los Angeles for 15 years, I've had my share of them. And the other day, a guy cut me off, and while cutting me off, gave me the finger and told me to go F myself. And for some odd reason, I snapped, and I drove around through a barrier, and I started chasing this young man. And I pulled up next to his car in the middle of the intersection at Olympic and Crescent Heights, and he rolled down his window and he took a big drink of his Diet Coke from a styrofoam cup and he spit it out at my car. And I, like a monstrous 800-pound gorilla, got out of the car and started beating my chest and telling this guy I was going to kill him. And the lady behind me was shaking her hands and asked me what I was doing and thought I'd gone crazy because my baby was in the car. So getting back into my car, this guy thought he was going to be a smartass and throw his soda out the window at me. And in doing so, he had a brand new BMW. In doing so, he hit the inside roof of his car with his soda, and his soda went everywhere in the car. So I ended up winning this little battle, and I didn't even have to get in it with this guy. But I'm curious as to how you feel about drivers and about rude drivers and about road rage in general. Andrew?
Because I know of you
I
as
don't-
being a very level-headed guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So what was happening in your brain? You just sort of snapped.
I just snapped. I mean, I'm sleepless and I'm tired of people cutting me off, and I just just something happened.
All right.
It
Now,
wasn't fantastic.
Andrew, I know that you're not sleepless because you get a lot of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any kind of...
Yeah, I've had that. Now I'm kind of confused as far as the question. Do you mean how do I feel about drivers or like people?
How do you feel about drivers?
Yeah,
Is what he
let's-
wanted to
or
know.
like
feel about
rude
drivers?
If
Let's talk
I had
about
been in that
both.
situation, just drivers. I think that everybody pretty much does it, and it's probably okay for I don't think there's anything. I don't know. I don't understand that. Too
Yeah,
much.
well, you know what we'll try to do is be more specific with the questions.
With the
'cause
rude
so far
driver,
it's
with
been
the rude
confusing.
driver in this situation.
We
that you
wanted
were
to
in.
know what I think Mark wanted to know is have you ever had road rage? Have you ever had any experience of that? Have you ever snapped while driving? Because I know right now you don't have a car. You don't have that problem because you don't
Yeah.
have a car or do anything.
Or maybe you experienced that feeling on the bus or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever had bus rage?
Yeah,
That's
is it
what I
bus
wanna
rage,
know.
or you want to kill the bus driver?
I'll go back to when I did have a car years ago, and it started. Okay, so I had a car and I was driving, and kind of the same thing happened. I didn't have a baby in the back or anything like that, but I had, and I always used to carry this, not to come off like a criminal or a drug dealer, but just to add a little bit of spice and intimidation when things like this did happen. I had a fake BB gun. Or I'm sorry, a real BB gun, a fake real gun.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Those are confused. Yeah.
Yeah, let's back up for a second. You had
You had a BB gun.
So why don't you just say you had a BB gun?
Yeah.
Because it's not a fake gun, or
Yeah,
it's
well,
not a real. It's,
You had a BB gun.
It's a
Yeah, it was all the way. It was a real BB gun that was.
right. I mean, you wouldn't say you're a real
mimicked
man, a fake woman. You're.
Yeah, no, I'm all. Anyway, so
know
I had this, and basically there was a trucker,
Sure.
18-wheel trucker,
Sure.
and he, this is in D.C. There's something called I-95, and it goes from Baltimore to D.C.
Sure,
While
it's
I
a
was
highway.
It's a highway.
Yeah. You're talking about a highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
that is.
Sure.
And I was driving, and this guy, just because of the girth of his truck,
Yeah. Sure.
thought that he could merge into my lane.
Yeah.
And, I was in a Cadillac DeVille, and I didn't think that was okay. So I kind of sped up and, got back into my lane because I couldn't do anything. He had a bigger truck than I did. I didn't even have a truck, and I couldn't.
You had a Cadillac Seville.
DeVille.
Yeah.
DeVille?
DeVille. With
Cadillac
a D.
DeVille.
With a D.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
DeVille.
I got back into my lane. Anyway, a couple miles down the highway, we met neck to neck. And basically, I did one of these numbers where I guess nobody can see what I'm doing because this is just my
No,
voice. But
right.
I took the fake BB gun and
Wait a minute.
No, it's a real
Let's
baby
back it up
gun, and
again.
also I don't think neck to neck is a saying.
Yeah. Certainly not when you're talking about automobiles.
Yeah, but go
Vehicles.
ahead. So you had your BB gun.
Not a fake gun.
yeah.
Right.
And I basically
Did you just
showed-
forget what we were talking about?
No. I know what we're
Okay.
talking
Do you know where you
I
are?
I showed him the gun, flashed it to him as if
Oh
though.
yeah, that's not a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
As if though I I might use this on him for
This man
doing what he
smokes
did.
meth for a living.
This guy's a meth
Sure.
driver, and basically
So you just waved your BB gun.
I waved
at
the BB gun
okay.
right at his face. We actually weren't.
Well, you
even though
waved
we
it
were
at his
neck
neck,
to neck,
actually.
Yeah, because you guys were
he
neck to
sat
neck.
higher. The truck, the 18-wheelers, sit a little higher than the DeVille's.
Yeah.
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 Just on average.
A lot.
Okay, so
And
so
anyway,
you
basically,
waved it up to him.
waved it up to him. Long story short, nothing happened at that point. I'd driven another 15 miles. Then I'm getting off the exit. I got onto 495 towards College Park. I was in Prince George's County. And all of a sudden, a police officer in a police officer car gets up right behind me, but his lights aren't on. So what the fuck's this guy following me so closely for? Because he's right on my ass. I think nothing of it. I drive smoothly. We come a little bit further up, and there's kind of a little ramp to go off of. And once again, anyway, we go off the ramp. Cop cars block me in. This guy behind me doesn't have his lights on. Lights on. So I have 3 cops blocking me in. Well, not 3, 10. 2 seconds later, 10 cops, literally 10 cops. They get on the loudspeaker phone, and they say, sir.
So they did get on their loudspeaker phone?
They got on the loudspeaker. They got on the phone.
This is the police.
They got on. Yeah. Well, what's that called? It's not. I don't think it's called a loudspeaker phone. They got on. Their microphone
it's
thing.
It's certainly not a megaphone. Maybe it's some type of PA system.
Yeah. I also think
It
it's
doesn't even matter. It doesn't relate to the story, really.
Okay, good.
It's just all that
I don't know why
happened.
you'd inject it then.
Yeah, no, I just to, yeah. Anyway, it was loud, whatever it was, and it's something like a speakerphone. And they said, driver, take the keys out of the ignition, throw them out. And I'm fucking scared here. I'm not a tough guy by any stretch of the imagination. So I throw the keys out of the car. And then, I get out. I have my hands on my head. They're asking me to do, different stances and stuff like that.
What were some of the stances that they asked you to do?
Well, just the general ones.
Well, when you say they asked you to do different stances,
But they said get into some stances?
I didn't say that.
I mean, there's a
said-
3-point stance.
They asked you to
football
put your
stances?
hands up over
No,
your
no,
head?
not football stances. Police, they said, sir, put your hands on your head. Walk back to the sound of my voice. Those kind of stances. And basically, I did that. They searched the car. I was crying hysterically. I was sitting in the back of the cop car. They said, we got it. We got the gun. So I guess what had happened is this driver, the tractor-trailer driver, had called the police and given them a description of the car and called it in. So once they found it, I told them, no, it's a BB gun, and I cried that to them. And, I got off. But long story short,
It's way too late to say long story short, I think. Don't
Anyone
you?
who says long story short after a long story is about to tell more story.
Yeah, and I also didn't realize that the whole podcast would be this one story, but I am enjoying it. So what did happen?
Well, what had happened at that point is I cried a little longer in my car, and then I drove home, but I felt foolish for trying to, because the joke was on me.
Well,
The
yeah.
joke was on,
Yeah.
and it should have been on the tractor-trailer
No,
driver.
I don't think so. Let me tell you why the joke was on you. Because you waved a gun at a trucker on the road. Right? So that's all on you. Because this trucker was just sort of minding his own business.
In
And then
fact,
he
Well,
looked
I
down.
think he
trying
just tried to
merge,
change
trying to
lanes.
make an
He
illegal
looked-
merge.
Well, yeah, but, that doesn't really warrant a gun being, what would happen to you? What would you do if somebody was driving and they waved their gun at you?
I
What
probably
you
would have thought it was a fake BB gun.
No, you would not have thought that. Why would you assume it's a fake BB gun? And it's not a fake BB gun, it's a real BB gun.
Yeah, I don't know why you keep calling it a fake BB gun.
No, but if you're driving on the road and somebody waves a black gun in your face, well, how would you feel? What would you do? You started crying even not in that circumstance. So what would you do?
I don't act like the average man would in that situation. I'm not at the, I think emotionally I would have been sad.
You would have been sad about it. See, that wouldn't be my initial
Frightened.
thought.
Yeah.
Is I would not be sad, I would be scared,
Out of my mind.
and I would probably pull over and maybe make arrangements to move out of Los Angeles. Right?
Yeah, I think that'd be a
Well,
better
this is happening in D.C.
choice of action.
Right.
Yeah, Beltway,
Once again,
101, same
I'm not
thing.
positive you're exactly getting my
I
point.
think it's got a big difference though, because this you're talking about L.A. drivers, and if this had happened in L.A. versus if it happened in D.C. and the fact that it happened in D.C.